Yo, it's been a while. I say that at the start of every video. I just realize I'm really bad at this YouTube thing. But I thought we'd do something fun today. Well, it's fun for me, and I love watching these types of videos. What I want to do is go through all the books that I read last year. Now, I know I was supposed to film this in December last year, but between working at the hospital, doing shift work, and Christmas and all that, it just lost me. Better late than never, right? So I'm going to go through all 29 books that I read last year. And I know to some of you that's nothing, but to me, who was a non-reader into a reader, is pretty good, I think. And I know people read like 29 books in a month, but I go at my own pace. And with my reading and my reading journey, it's not about quantity. It's like when I can read, when I have time to read. And yeah, it's not a race to read whatever books and to read however many books. Like, I'm still catching up on so many book series. Let's get into it. But I just want to go to the side a little bit and say that I want to thank Sarah J. Maas for getting me into reading. And how this whole reading journey started was last year. I picked up A Court of Thorn and Roses. So many people had recommended those books to me. And this was before BookTube and BookTok. Like, it was actually a few of my work colleagues were like reading A Court of Thorn and Roses, or, you know, they said you've got to read it. So at first I was like, nah, I'm not reading that. Like, I'm not a reader, blah, blah, blah. And something just clicked in my brain and I bought A Court of Thorn and Roses, like the first book. And it took me a while to get into it. Like, it took me about 3 months to complete half of the first book, which I know is ridiculous. Like I said, I wasn't really into reading. And then just one day I smashed out the second half of the book. And I was like, this is amazing. And then so on and so on. I completed that whole series, and I'm like, holy moly, she has opened my eyes to fantasy and fantasy romance. The only time I was a reader was when I was a child. And I read Roald Dahl. I read all, you know, the fun kids books like Goosebumps and Roald Dahl and Enid Blyton. You know, The Folk of the Faraway Tree, like all those books. And I've got them on my bookshelf because I love those books. That was the only time I was into reading. And I had a whole lot of picture books. I'd say it's been a good 20 or more years since I've actually become a reader. And I'm not counting myself as a serious reader. This is just me doing my own thing. It's part of my journey now, all these books and me getting in the book world. And BookTok and BookTube has a lot to answer for. And I love it. I'm on this reading journey and I'm absolutely loving it. So I thought I'd share the books I read in 2023. That's enough of me rambling. Now, how I'm going to show the books is they're in no order. I've just piled them on. And what I'm going to do is I've got my reading journal here, which I absolutely love. And I'm starting to kind of fill it out slowly. Like, they're all the books that I've listed. And then you get to give like a 5-star review. So that's what I'm going to read out. I'm going to read out how many stars I give it or gave the book out of 5. I'm not going to go into full review of the books because I'm trying not to make this video too long, but I thought I'd show you my reading journal just briefly. Like, it is just so much fun. At the moment I'm reading Zodiac Academy So what I'm trying to do is trying to make notes as I go through the book, because fantasy series has a lot of detail, and I wish I'd done that with Sarah J Maas, but I'm positive at some point I will reread A Court of Thorn and Roses. But I've just gone and decorated the pages, and I've added like stickers, and I'm just having such a good time. Like, I know this isn't anything new to people, but this is a new journey for me and I'm loving it. Anyway, so that's my beautiful reading journal, and I'll just get to the page where it says my 5-star reviews. I had it open. Oh yeah, I've added that as well. And there's, I don't know if you can see, but there are things you can colour in, which is perfect for me. Okay, this is in no order. I'm just going to pick up the books, the ones I have here. So we'll start with Heartstopper 1 and 2. I love this series. I gave it a 4 out of 5. I need to read 3 and 4. Had so much fun. If you know, you know about this series. Ugly Love by Colleen Hoover. I gave a 3.5. It was okay. I'm very heavily influenced by BookTok, so this was all across my BookTok at the time last year, and so was Colleen Hoover. So I give this a 3.5. It was okay. The second book I read after Court of Thorn and Roses, or that series, was It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover. This I gave another 3.5. It wasn't bad. Certain bits of the book annoyed me and gave me the ick, as they call it now. Yeah, 3.5. And then I read It Starts With Us, and I gave that a 3 stars. It was okay. Nothing too much to say about Colleen Hoover books. They are what they are. They're pretty straightforward, and they're just an easy read. A 3 out of 5 stars. What I tend to do is I've gotten into a bit of a pattern, because I like to read fantasy and fantasy romance and all that stuff, but sometimes I feel like I just need a palate cleanser, and that's why I turn to all the, you know, the trashy romance books, just the easy reads of Colleen Hoover and Lucy Score and all those people which you see all over BookTube and you see everywhere. So I apologize if you've seen all these books before, but these books are just on my list. Another Colleen Hoover is All Your Perfects, and I gave that was a 2. This was not very good in my opinion, and I finished it, but I didn't really enjoy it. The next Colleen Hoover book, Confess, I actually really liked this one, and I gave it this was a 3.5 out of 5. I think out of all the Colleen Hoover books that I've read so far, Confess is my favorite. I just like the concept of the art stuff, and, you know, for a romance, I really enjoyed this one. So yeah, this is my favorite out of Colleen Hoover. Hopeless, I gave a 2. I just didn't enjoy this. I also just want to mention that obviously this is my review and my opinions of the books, and everyone has their own opinions on authors and genres and books. So I apologize if I upset anyone, but I'm just keeping it real here. Now, the last Colleen Hoover book is Verity. This one was really popular all over TikTok. Like, this book was in people's top 5 books to read. So I was like, okay, I'll give this one a chance. I didn't like it. I gave this one a 2 stars. All I can say is it did its job as a thriller, but this creeped me out so much. And I know that's what thrillers are supposed to do. They're supposed to freak you out and whatever, but this one just, I don't know, just rubbed me the wrong way. I didn't like Verity, and this whole story just freaked me out. So that's why it probably is, that's why I'm probably giving it a generous 2. This is my least favorite, and I didn't like Verity. Colleen Hoover, and I'm discovering that Colleen Hoover is one of those authors that's, you either love her or people don't like her. But with me, she kind of sits neutrally. Like, she's not bad, but she's not my favorite author. She just sits neutrally with me. Haven't really got anything bad to say, but it's nothing mind-blowing either. Okay, the next book I am reaching for is Things We Never Got Over by Lucy Score. Again, this was like another palette cleanser during whatever fantasy series I was reading, and I gave this a 4. I really enjoyed this read as a modern romance or whatever genre it is. It was even though it's like thick, it's almost, I think, 500 pages or whatever. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, I did enjoy this one as a light read, and I've got the 2 other books in the series, so I definitely will be continuing on with that. Then we are going on with A Throne of Glass and Assassin's Blade. I am one of those people that love Sarah J. Maas books, her writing. So these books get a 4 out of 5. I'm slowly reading the Throne of Glass series. I've only read these 2. I give it a 4 out of 5. Love it. Yes, I am one of those Sarah J. Maas nerds. The next book is the Twisted Hate series by Anna Huang, I think. Oh, actually, Twisted Love is, I've actually lent it to a work colleague at the moment, so I gave that one a, what is it, what's written here, Twisted Love, that's a 2.5. that was okay. But then I think Twisted Games, I love this one, and I gave it a 4 out of 5. And this book actually started to introduce me to the dark romance genre. It's very light dark romance in this, but compared to the other dark romance books I've read, but I absolutely love this book. So this one gets a high score. Twisted Hate, what did I give that? That was a 2.5. And I do want to finish the last book in this series. I've got it on my bookshelf, which is behind me there. So at some point I will be finishing the series. Going on with dark romance. I've never read dark romance before, or smut as they call it, and I'm loving it. I'm loving the dark romance journey that I'm on. But the first book, and this is another popular one, is Haunting Adeline. This is book 1. I gave this a 4.5. As you've probably heard with dark romance books, please check the trigger warnings, because it does cover some very heavy and effed up topics. So if it's not your vibe, just please check all the trigger warnings. But this story kept me engaged, and you want to know what happens with Adeline and Gigi and everyone. So yeah, a 4.5. Absolutely loved it. And then I had to read the second book as well, and this was another, what did I give this one actually? Another 4.5. I just loved the story of these two, and I definitely will reread these again. If I say I want to reread a book or a book series, then you know it's good. Well, in my opinion, I enjoyed it. The next book I'm grabbing is The Serpent and the Wings of the Night. Oh my God, I can't speak. This book is so funny because I went to Italy last year in May, and I took this book with me overseas thinking, oh yeah, I'll have time to read it. Like, we're catching the train in between places in Italy and blah, blah, blah. Nope. I think I only read the first chapter, and I've discovered that I cannot take heavy fantasy books overseas, because my mind, when I'm overseas or in a different place, my mind is too focused on whatever is happening over there. Even if it's just, a quiet moment, my mind is still all excited that I'm in like a new country. So I had every intention of finishing this over there, but it never happened because my mind was somewhere else, and I can't read if my mind isn't 100% focused on a book, and I need to be in the reading zone. But this book is special because I did take it to Italy with me, and I finally read it when I got back from Italy, and I loved it. Carissa Broadbent is another favorite fantasy romance writer of mine, and I gave this a 4 stars. This is a really good story. Then I have Corrupt by Penelope Douglas. She has become another favorite dark romance writer. I gave this book a 4 out of 5 stars. The story's really good. The characters kept me engaged. So it gets a 4 out of 5. Like I mentioned, if you want a full review on any of the books or a full review on any of the book series, once I finish the book series, I'm happy to do a full review. But I'm just saying, these books are very popular, so you see them all over the place, so there's probably hundreds of reviews out there. Then I got onto the Daughter of No Worlds. Well, actually, I started this Carissa Broadbent series before The Serpent and the Wings of the Night, and I gave this a 4 out of 5. Love it. And can I just show you how gorgeous? So this is the hardcover, and how beautiful is that hardcover? Like, if you get the hardcover versions of these books, you just get, oh my God, so magical and luscious. Then I also read The Children of Fallen Gods, and this was another 4 out of 5. I just love Max and Tisana. I think that's how you say her name. I love reading about their journey. This is like a cozy fantasy romance series. Oh my God, I love it. And I do have the 3rd book to finish, which is on my bookshelf up there. The Ritual by Chantel Tessier. I'm really enjoying this series. This was a, what did I give this? It was either a 4. Yeah, 4 out of 5. This is a dark romance. Loving it. I know my reviews are very vague and very non-descriptive, But like I said, there are a lot of books and I want to just keep this short and sweet. If you want more in-depth reviews and opinions on mine, then I'm happy to do. Ask and you shall receive. And then, of course, the next book in the series is The Sacrifice. But I think even though this is a series, I think she said you can actually read these books as a standalone as well. Like, it's not like this story flows through to this. You do get characters who are in this one, in this book. She's done it in the way where you can read these as standalones as well. This one I gave a 4 out of 5. And I do want to apologize though, because I actually finished this in January this year. So not really part of the whole books I read in 2023. I'm filming this on the 29th of February. So I'm just going to throw it in. And then, of course, the next books I am grabbing is, you have seen these all over the place. If you are a booktuber or a booktoker, you will see these all over the place. But it is the Court of Thorn and Roses series. This series, I don't know what it is about it, but it's just hooked me in, just like many others. Oh, and I definitely want to reread this series again, because I think the second time I feel like I will immerse myself even more so in this series. The next series I'm going to pick up is, I filmed, if you go back 3 or 4 videos down on my YouTube channel, I filmed a whole reading vlog on me reading the Twilight series, and I had so much fun filming this series and reading it and filming, doing a whole reading vlog. It is a long vlog, just FYI, so if you have a spare 2 hours and want to hear me go on about Twilight, then you're more than welcome to check it out. However, it's not just my final thoughts on the books, it's also me vlogging my everyday life. Anyways, I did enjoy, and like, I made post-it notes because as I read the series, because my memory is shocking and it actually helped clarify things. This is why I like taking notes when I read, especially if it's like heavy fantasy books, because there's lots of rules and magic systems and I need to write things down. And I really enjoyed the Twilight series, but I'll go through what I gave these out of 5. So the first book, Twilight, I gave a 3.5. I think Bella irritated me in this whole series, which I talked about in my reading vlog. That's all I'll say. And I loved Edward. I'm definitely Team Edward here. So that was a 3.5. And the next book was New Moon, and I gave that a 2.5. It wasn't my favorite, but it was necessary for the series. Eclipse, I gave, again, a 2.5. Nothing too mind-blowing, but definitely needs to be part of the series. Breaking Dawn, I think, was my favorite. Twilight and Breaking Dawn were definitely my favorite. I gave, what did I give Breaking Dawn? That is a 4. Yeah, 4 out of 5. This is the final book. And Bella became such a badass, and she didn't irritate me as much. Like I said, this is the Bella that I'd been waiting for. So I gave it a 4 out of 5. And then I did read the short Second Life of Britannia, and I gave that a 3. It was okay. We're almost there, guys. I've only got 3 more books to go. Now, of course, amongst all the hype, I read Fourth Wing, and I gave that, where is it? I gave a 4 out of 5. I just loved the dragons in this. They are so cool. And the final books, well, the one I finished last year was, well, I've started the Zodiac Academy series. I freaking love this. I gave this like a, was it 4 point? No! Oh, wait. Oh my God, I just realized that I showed you A Court of Thorn and Roses, but I didn't say what I gave them out of 5, which is so dumb because that's the whole point of this video. But I think you can guess what I gave it. 4. 4.5. 4.5. Like, it's gonna be high. Even this novella, which I think is the least popular one, a 4.5. Like, it's just such a magical and light story. 4.5. 4.5. The reason why those don't get a 5 is because certain bits I found a bit confusing. Like I mentioned, I do want to reread the books to see if I get it more. I'm even tempted to change it now to 5, because the more I think about it, if I can't get a book series out of my head, then you know it's a good read, a good book series, well, in my brain anyway. So it's a very close 5. Anyway, Zodiac series. I'm loving this series. There's like 8 or 9 books, so there's a lot. But I gave this, the first book, a 4. I'm liking the school. I'm liking the twins and discovering their journey into their new world. I'm really liking the magic system as well, and the elements. I tell you what, if I was like a young adult reading this, I was into astrology and all that. Well, I kind of still am, but not as much. But when I was a teenager, I would have freaking loved this series. So this is, I'm loving this. This is a 4. And the final book, well, I shouldn't say, because this is the book I'm reading now, so it's not part of the books I finished in 2023. However, I am currently almost finished the second book of the Zodiac Academy, which is Ruthless Fae. And again, the twins are just standing their ground in the school and really sticking up for themselves in the second book. And what I've done is I've actually tabbed the book for character development and important bits, important story development in the book as well. So I've just tabbed that. Any magical systems I've tabbed as well. I know I should color code it, but I honestly, I'm not at the point where I can be like, oh, that's part of the love story, that's part of the schooling system. Like, yeah, I'm just tabbing it all in the one color because I am the laziest person around. But I'm loving the Zodiac Academy series. I'm about 410 pages in. There's probably 100 or so more pages. I really want to finish this today. Shouldn't take me too long to finish today, but I'm loving this series. So this will probably get, I don't know, a 4.5. Depends how it ends. And I've got all the Zodiac Academy books there on the bookshelf. Just before I finish up, I just want to mention that I have read 2 books on my Kindle, but these I finished this year. And the books that I have read, that's my Kindle there. The books that I have read is Binding 13, which I gave a 3 out of 5 stars. So that wasn't a bad book. It was long though. The other book I read was, which I just finished. I actually just finished it on Sunday, and that is The Co-Worker by Freda McFadden. I'm slowly checking out Freda McFadden books, and I gave that a 2.5. It kept me engaged, and it was like a light thriller. But I'm discovering that thriller, like I'm happy with light thrillers because I don't want scary horror thrillers because I'm not too good with those. I'm happy with Freda McFadden thrillers. I've actually just started her book, and that's on the Kindle as well. That is called, what's that called? The Housemaid. I've just started that, so I'm probably like 2 chapters in that, so can't really say too much. Okay, that was a long video. There were a lot of books to get through, and I just want to say thank you for sticking around and hearing me give my 5-star review, well, not 5-star, but my star reviews on the books that I've read. And like I said, that's just my opinion and my experience with those books. Everyone has different opinions and, you know, star ratings on books. We've come to the end. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.